Here with Stefy Bull and Jason Cunningham. Back in action next month, Jason.
Yeah.
But you've been with Stefy for a while now, since the beginning of the year. How do you think you've progressed in that time?
Immensely. That's all I can say. Absolutely everything. My defence, my job, it's all come on, and I'm learning every day. Ready to try to improve even more when we take care of Martin Ward. So yeah, it's all going perfectly to plan. With him day in day out. He's like, my best mate as well as my trainer, my manager. So it's perfect. Perfect relationship. I know.
In terms of yourself, Stefy, how have you seen this progression go?
Well, obviously,
I think he's a twat.
Yeah, I've seen it from the beginning. You see, I've known about Jason for a long time when he wasn't in my gym. Me being a southpaw when I was fighting, he was a southpaw. Well, he's a southpaw, not what. He's a southpaw, and obviously when he was having good runs in ABAs, even before he won them, I can remember going to a couple of shows in his hometown in Woodlands and seeing him, and he was a bit stand out. So I always had him. The kid Jason Cunningham always stood in my head. And just after he won ABAs, he come down here when I was co-trainer to Jamie McDonnell at the time. He come down with one of the amateur trainers and did a couple of rounds, but he'd not been at gym since he won ABAs, and it was a long time. I think he just come because his amateur trainer at the time just brung him, and there were an opportunity, and he did a couple of rounds with Jamie. So yeah, I've known him for a long time and known what he's about. And when it all got put together and he come into gym, he just got his contract back, I believe, didn't you, for Ingles and things. So he was a free agent, and he come in for a chat and said, would I be interested in him? I thought somebody had dropped something from above. It was a big, probably one of the best things that's probably happened to me as a trainer and things, because it's noted. Obviously, Jamie was no longer in my gym after being his co-trainer. Gavin was no longer training in my gym. My gym, I just had me Andy Townend and a couple of other fighters, Robbie Barrett, Luke Crowcroft, a couple of fighters had kind of weaved out. So when Jason come in and he landed on my lap, it was like a bit pinchy stuff really at the time, because I was a bit down. I didn't have fighters, but I was close to calling it a day, in all honesty. I'd had a bad show in December, lost a hell of a lot of money, fighters pulling off, fighters not in my gym. It was just crazy, and I was just in a bit of a limbo, really down, thinking about it. But yeah, Jason, it was a sign. It was something that had meant to happen, and that's what I strongly believe. I don't believe in gods, and I don't believe in things, but I'm a strong believer in things are meant to happen. And I think Jason Cunningham walking in my gym doors were meant to happen. So yeah, that's when it started in December. Meantime, by the way, I was thinking not to do any more shows. I didn't tell Jason this, because when he come in my gym as a free agent, an ABA champion, obviously this kid's got wins over Galahad and all sorts in amateurs, and you said he's the real deal, as I call fighters. Straight away, my ears were up. What can I do? I wasn't sleeping on a night. What can I do for this kid? He was ready for a step on. He'd been playing around in 4 rounds. He'd had one taste of championship distance on Jamie McDonnell's undercard at the Keep Mount where he stopped Uzi Ahmed, who don't get stopped. And that were at flyweight. But the first thing I did say to him when he walked in the door, I said, you're no longer a flyweight. And he was like, well, I know I do struggle for that. And he says, I'll be all right at superfly. I says, you're no longer a super flyweight. No. Me being around these lower weights and having experience with Jamie, Gavin, and the lad's absolutely massive, as you see now. I says, I want to take you to bantamweight, where I can develop you, and in no time I think you'll be ready for Britain's best. And I got him in a tough fight with Scott Gladwin and worked very hard to get the English title there. Scott Gladwin's a very capable opponent. He beat one of my stars who were with me at the time, Conor Nixon, in a thrilling fight at Doncaster Dome. And so I knew it was going to be I thought it was going to be a tough fight. So we trained very hard, southpaw. We put a lot of work in, didn't we?
Always do.
The first thing I did with Jason was, for such a tall kid, he had no jab. Everything was just flicked out and setting up for long backhand. And I spent months and months working on his jab. And in that fight with Gladwin, I think you could see the development from his jab. And he did, for me, a better job than Yafai did on Gladwin. And remember, Gladwin had 9 weeks' notice for that fight, where he probably fought Yafai on a few weeks' notice. And that's when I realised how he just walked through. He just walked through Gladwin, and I've got a lot of respect for Scott. Lovely young man, and he can fight, tough kid. And Jason just dismantled him, like, you know. So yeah, after that fight, and I'm laid in bed that night thinking, freaking hell, this kid can really fight. It was very exciting. We've gone around sparring with good fighters, world champions. I'm not going to name drop where this going at, but he did more than good. He did that good that we got sent home from sparring. They've not been interested in having us back. So I've took Jason around sparring with some good fighters up and down country. We're not going to, no need, like I say, no need to name drop, and he's done more than okay. And it just indicates that I know that I've got a real fighter on my hands, and I know now he's English champion. Is ready to, you know, he's ready to be to go to the next level. So I'd phoned around after winning that show, that fight. My next show was in May. I'd offered it nearly every bantamweight in country the fight, and nobody were kind of interested. Offered it. Let me think. I offered it to lots. Teddy Broadbent, the young kid. What's the young kid from up north east? Nelson, you know, Anthony Nelson offered it them. Well, can you remember any other fighters who I'd offered it to?
Just, I don't know, there were a few on there. But
just a lot of fighters. There were none that I didn't think bored, or I didn't think it would have been a worthwhile fight for Jason. So anyway, I couldn't make a match for this English title. So I got in touch with Border Control and and emailed them explaining that I can't make a match for English title. Would they consider making Jason mandatory for Lee Askins' bantamweight title? Now, when I tell people that, they probably thought I were very ambitious. Why would I do that? One, I'm with this kid every day, and I know he's the real deal, and I know he's capable of beating Lee Askins. Why would I want to get my man beat? I strongly believe he can beat Lee Askins.
All right, that's another thing. I've gone under radar, which, you know, after this one, people are going to know who I am, because I will be taking care of Martin Ward. It's as simple as that. So,
in terms of Martin Ward as well, he fought for a world title not long ago, so it must prove you're not far off.
Yeah, well, that's it. As well as Commonwealth title at stake, there's a world ranking at stake. So take this, just keep winning, and who knows what can happen.
That's, you know, but we've got to be realistic in boxing. It's very hard and things, but I've been here and I've seen it, and I've worked alongside Jamie McDonnell in his early career before he was world champion, and I've seen what it takes. And I know this kid's got the same kind of thing. Look at his identical twin, Kevin McDonnell. I've done a great job with him. He's on verge of a European. He's sat number one now for European title. It happens, especially at lower weights when they're not as busy in Europe to get opportunities. But like I say, Martin Ward is the Commonwealth champion, so the possibility of just getting a straight shot when he's not ranked was nil. So what I did then, I got in touch with Simon Block of Commonwealth Council, and obviously he wasn't ranked, but as English champion, ABA champion, great pedigree, undefeated, I said, would there be any chance that if I were willing to make a Commonwealth title eliminator, would Jason be eligible? And he told me if it were one of his top ranked fighters. So I went straight in, and at the time we used Isaac Owusu, who had not been beat at the time for 5 years.
He looked the best, and
he looked the best and that's what he wanted.
I wanted
so after a bit of help and got some negotiations going with Ghanaians, this fight were made and accepted obviously by Commonwealth as an official eliminator. And same again, Jason just brushed through him easier than the fights that he had with what's the kid who were Attons, you know, Lions and all that. Broadhurst beat him on points. And remember, he'd had 8 weeks' notice. It wasn't like we just brung a Ghanaian in on a few weeks. This kid had an 8 weeks training camp and not lost for 5 years. A great knockout ratio. And Jason just once again dismantled him, basically, just broke him down. And we've got this tag for him now, which local press have come up with, Iceman, because they say he's cool as ice. He never looks flabbergasted. He's never looks under pressure or anything like that.
That's what it is, isn't it? Just get on with it.
So yeah, so he won the eliminator, and he boxed superbly. Once again, showing massive improvement, and trying to fish around regarding Martin Ward, who's Commonwealth champion. I got in touch with Dennis Hobson, had a good chat about Dennis. I said, I've got a fighter, Dennis, that's the real deal, and I need some help to take him to the next level. Dennis has a proven track at what he can do for fighters, what he's done for Jamie, what he's done for Stewie Hall, and to do what he's done again,
and still doing
it. The man must be the best in Britain at getting things that, you know, fighters dream of, and you can't deny he backs his fighters, and that's the reason why I went to Dennis and said, I've got this young man that can fight, he's a real deal, he sells tickets in abundance, he's very likeable, he lives the life, he don't drink, he don't smoke, he don't go out boozing. I've never ever met in all my life anybody that wants something so much and so dedicated than this man. And we went over and had a chat with Dennis, didn't we? And Dennis already knew about him, and so they were out there what he could do. In the meantime, he had this big Newcastle bill with a butler and thing on, and he invited Jason if he'd like to fight on there and get him sent out there, and went on there in a little 6-rounder. And same again, stopped this kid. So he stopped his last 4 opponents now. He's been really busy. This is his 4th fight a year. And working with Dennis, as Dennis promotes this Martin Ward, he's helped make the fight. And obviously, Jason's got a chance of a lifetime. Commonwealth title at Doncaster Dome on 6th of September. So it's his time.
It is.
In terms of winning a title as well in your backyard, Commonwealth title is a very prestigious title.
Yeah.
What would that feel like?
Well, it'd be brilliant. It's obviously a little bit of history for Doncaster for a start, isn't it, as well? It gets me up there with names. Obviously, Jamie's been there, John Joe Irwin, bringing these big back nights back to Doncaster. And that's what I want to do. Just want to continue from here and bring it all the TV cameras, you know, everything to Doncaster. That's what it's all about.
Do you hope one day to do what Jamie did and have an outdoor fight at Keepmo at some point?
I don't know about an outdoor because it was cold that night. I did both on that bill. Maybe not Keepmo, but in Doncaster, yeah, definitely take that.
I mean, Jason's definitely. I mean, he's a very entertaining fighter, and I mean, with the amount he's already done, 200 ringside tickets he's already done, actually sold. The ringside ticket left, so that's already gone. But speaking to Dennis, I mean, we could definitely bring. Jason's the key again to bring TV back to Doncaster. The last time a Commonwealth title fight was held in Doncaster was Jamie and Stewie Hall, which was a cracking fight, probably one of the best fights ever to be held at Dome. It was Commonwealth bantamweight title as well as the European and British, and that was a Doncaster lad versus a North East lad. This is the same kind of thing. 4 years later, we've got a Doncaster lad fighting a North East lad, and Martin Ward's no pushover. Let's remember he was an ABA champion. He's only lost a couple of fights. He's lost against good kids in Askins. He had an early knockout against Coveney. He's got good pedigree. I mean, the matter of fact, on paper, he's world ranked. He's IBF world ranked, number 13. He's fought for a world title and not lost. It was a technical decision. So Jason's just, you know, like any other fighter, I'm bringing opportunities and he's taking them. Yeah. And on 6th of September, we've got something special happening in Doncaster, and it's a major title. And I think I'm very proud to be bringing Commonwealth Championship boxing, major boxing back to Doncaster, and it's very exciting. Future's good for Jason Cunningham and everybody around him, isn't it? Yeah, it is.
In terms of being a Donny lad as well, Jason, a few years ago, there weren't that many shows locally. This guy's brought the scene back. Oh, yeah. As a fan of boxing, as much as anything, you're very thankful for that.
Oh, I am, without a shadow of a doubt, yeah. These big shows, easy for selling tickets, getting mass support there, obviously thanks to everyone, but obviously opportunities given me. How active I've been, he's just, you know, got my best interest, and it's, like I say, it's a blessing really for my boxing career. Before I came to Stefy, nothing was happening for me. I was constantly in the gym, for whatever reason or another. It's obviously in the past, it weren't happening for me. And obviously we hooked up together, didn't we? And it's just gone from there, strength to strength to strength, and we both want it as bad as one another. We're going to get there.
I think the thing is how it works is I've got that much passion for boxing. He's got that much passion for boxing. My head's full of ideas, and he wants these ideas. And what makes it even easier is he sells tickets in abundance. So why? The kid wants to fight and can fight, and he wants good. He wants hard. It's not hard to make fights when you've got somebody that can fight and wants to fight, and that's the difference. Now, if he couldn't fight and did 300 tickets, I'd be worried. But the kid can fight and does 300 and 400 tickets, So, you know, we can do something. And I strongly believe, I've seen it with Jamie McDonnell. I'm no idiot. I'm not going to go out and run around, this kid's going to be world champion, this kid's this and that. But all I can say is this kid's the real deal, and we will go all the way. Now, whether all the ways to a world title or not, any major titles are achieving, but he's that dedicated, he's that big at the weight, he's that strong, he's that determined. I'd be surprised if anybody can stop him getting what he wants. He don't call anybody out, he's not that type. Obviously, we all know what's going to happen if he goes and wins this Commonwealth title. Everybody's going to be screaming, Jamie McDonnell this, everybody's going to be on about that fight. We've got a lot of respect, but I mean, I'm a massive fan. I've been lucky enough to work closely with Jamie over the years. I'm a massive fan of Jamie. What he's done is absolutely incredible. And if this kid can do half of that, then we've all achieved again. So it's exciting for me, this as well, because let's not remember, this could be 2 times that I win a Commonwealth title as a trainer, and obviously I manage Jason now. So it's exciting for me as well. It's got a bit of niggledy, and it's all good. It's all good for Doncaster.
Excellent. Well, good luck with the show and good luck with the fight.
Thank you.